Rimworld isn't about winning. It's about watching a group of deeply flawed people try to survive on a hostile planet and slowly becoming way too attached to them. This series is their story. Let's watch it fail together. Now, before we jump into it, just a disclaimer that this is going to be a modded run with a heavy focus on medieval technology. All mods will be linked in the description. Now grab a drink, sit back, and enjoy the video. Now, the map we've started on is quite interesting. It is a valley with hot springs in the middle, and there are quite a lot of animals. As we zoom out here, we could see all the highlighted wildlife, and I believe that is due to the hot springs. And that is interesting because as we are playing a medieval modded game, the leather production chain is changed from vanilla. So now we have, once we kill the animals, we have to dry the hides and then tan them to get leather. I believe animals play a more important role. Now we're going to start by building a basic shelter. I'm thinking of maybe finishing this ruined building over here. We have quite a bit of wooden planks, so I think closing off this building might be a good start. We'll create some stockpiles nearby for our food and raw resources, and maybe we'll start mining out some ores nearby. Now that the main shelter is done, we'll configure the insides, we'll set up some sleeping spots, and I think that instead of mining some ores, which we definitely can't use yet, we'll set the colonists to gather some wood. We've also built our first trestle. This piece of furniture is used to transform raw logs into timber. It feels like there was some major battle happening here at some point. There's about 20 different corpses right next to our base, so we'll have to clean that out at some point. Now that we have enough planks and timber, we can make the workshop a little bit bigger and actually enclosed. And with Alex being our only builder, I think his skills are going to shoot up pretty quickly. He's already at 5 construction, and with a burning passion, that's going to rise pretty fast. Now let's place the trestle a little bit better. I'm going to want to put it in the corner here like this, and we'll put a stockpile of lumber right beside it to increase efficiency. We'll also place a crafting spot inside of here to start making some weapons for self-defense, as we got a message that raids will start soon, so we'll start getting attacked, and the colonists need a way of defending themselves. We have a nice mix of skills among our colonists. Silver here is a great digger. That's pretty much his only thing. He's going to be used for mining, and his melee skill is great, and he has a burning passion for it, so he's going to be good with defense of the colony. Armida is very good at medicine and planting, so that's going to be very useful once we get farms up and running. And then our last man here, the builder, Alex, is, well, obviously the builder, but also very gifted with animals and shooting. So I feel he's going to be a nice ranger of sorts. And we've got a first visitor, Eddie from House Soren, a teenage footman, is coming to our village, maybe to trade some things. So let's see what she has. And it took her a little while to get here. She got into a fight with one of the wild animals and got quite injured, but she managed to kill it. So let's send our leader over to trade with her and see what it is she has in stock. Now, she doesn't have much, but at least she has some leather armor here, so I think we'll grab that in preparation for the raiders that are coming. And I think that's about it. She does have some heal root, but we already have 20 of those. Some pemmican, but we have enough food also, so I think that's going to be it for now. And Eddie is leaving, and she's left us a gift. She gave us some soft leather boots, so that's very nice of her. And Silver is quick to go grab those. And I just deconstructed one of the remains here, one of the corpses, just to see what we would get out of it. And we've actually gotten some linen, so I think we're gonna go ahead and deconstruct all of these corpses to try and get as much linen as we can, and maybe build some better, craft some better equipment and clothes for our people. And as Alex was rummaging through those remains, we got our first mad animal. It is a quail. Yes, a quail is going to attack our village. So let's see how we do against this guy. Let's send Silver. Let's draft him immediately. And let's attack the quail. And it's dead. Now that we've got enough lumber, I think I'm going to build these guys separate rooms, separate houses, simply because now they're getting major debuffs for sharing a crappy barracks with each other. So we're going to build some more houses around this area. Now we're also going to need some food very soon because we're getting low on food. So we need to build a butcher's block or a butchering table. And we're also going to need a fueled stove. Now we have the campfire that we could use to make meals for now. And I think we'll keep that for the time being because we need some marble or limestone to build the fueled stove. And here Silver thinks we need a good faction name. The default one he came up with is the Orange Creek Kinship. And honestly, I kind of like that one, so I think we're going to be keeping that. And Silver also thinks that you should give this settlement a name. What should this local settlement be called? Let's randomize a bit. Try and find something interesting. I mean, or we could just call it Orange Creek, which would make sense. All right, let's call it Orange Creek. There we go. So let's build the butcher's workshop. And yeah, for the fuel stove, we need marble blocks or limestone blocks or whatever kind of rock blocks we could get. And to get the blocks, I believe we need the stonecutter's table. So let's find a place to put that. And once the butcher's table is up and running, we'll send Alex out to go hunting. And some merchants have arrived on map and immediately got to work, killing all the hostile wildlife that attacked them. Let's send Armida over to see what they have to trade. Now they have cows and donkeys, which I would have liked to purchase, but we just don't have enough silver right now. And we really don't have anything of value that we could sell. So I think we'll have to pass on the merchants for now. But on the plus side, we found a bunch of items next to the traders that were just lying on the ground, so we'll allow all of those items. Some nice weapons in there as well, and some armor, which is great. Allow all of this. Oh, that's Eddie. That's the trader from before who died here for some reason. Well, she will have given us more than a pair of boots, I think. So let's make sure to grab everything we can. And our first raid has happened, which is fortunate for us. Well, first of all, there's only one person, so that's going to be relatively easy. But also the fact that we have a merchant caravan in our little village here. They'll probably take care of the raiders for us. So let's have a look. And the raider has attacked the caravan as predicted and is going down immediately. Now, they've downed the raider, but they haven't killed her. So I think we'll try and capture her and see if we could maybe heal her up. And if we can, we could have a prisoner and possibly turn her into our first new villager. And now that we've captured her, Armida is going to heal her up. Let's look at her injuries. She's not dying, so that's great. And I put her prison bed in our main crafting room just because we had no other option. But I think we'll create a small prison, perhaps. And we now have a proper prison for Squint. As we get more prisoners, we could always expand this building and have some more rooms and make it into a proper dungeon-looking building. So for now, let's assign Alex to go hunting. Let's take a look at the wildlife. Now, I've sorted all the predators at the top. I don't want any of them to be hunted because they'll actually fight back. So let's go for the... Well, I think the bucks and the does seem alright. So let's assign him to get some of those. Start off with 2 bucks. And let's have a look at how successful he is. And while chasing that buck around, Alex has inadvertently aggroed the death stingers. So let's draft him real quick and get him the heck out of there. and I think they're faster than him. Oh boy. Come on, run, run, run. Let's draft the other two and bring them in here. Okay, they stopped chasing him, I think. Well, that was dangerous. And I think we'll have him hunt the donkeys instead, as the donkeys are to the north of the map, and the deer are down south with the big bugs. So let's cancel the deer and add some donkeys. For now, we'll give those bugs a wide berth, but as we get better at fighting, I think eventually we'll go wipe them out. I'd like to get to a place where we could just freely move around the map without having to worry about getting attacked and killed. But for now, our colonists are quite weak, so we'll have to wait for them to get better at melee and shooting. With that failed hunt, we are running out of food, however, so I think I'm going to set some berry bushes to get picked before Alex heads off on his next donkey hunt. Luckily, there are quite a few berry bushes around, even some apple trees. And it turns out there were some more bees to the north, even more than near the deer. So we're going to try and get Alex to safety, but I think he's already incapacitated, is he? No, he's just injured and slowed. All right, let's get him out of there. Oh, man. No, this is not going good. No, I think he's going down. And he made it. They don't aggro too far away, so that's pretty good for us. I think we'll have to forget about hunting for now, though, because this is not working. We'll have to be a vegetarian clan for now, as we just made our first meal from berries. However, now it's being kept outdoors, so it's going to deteriorate rather quickly. So I'd like to build a little shelter or a little storage area indoors just for the food. We'll have to place Silver on construction duty for now, as Alex is still healing up in bed, and it won't hurt to have a second person anyways on building duty. And Alex has gotten infected, one of the injuries in his leg. Now, this is pretty dangerous, especially at this stage of the game when you don't have any good medicine, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. And as soon as we can, always have a doctor present to heal him up. So let's prioritize our me to do that right away. If you don't treat the infection as soon as you can, it's going to deteriorate. So it will start off as a minor infection, grow to a major one, and eventually it could lead to the loss of the limb, and you need to periodically bandage the infection. So right now you can see there's a full white circle, which means it has been taken care of, but as soon as that becomes empty again, we need to make sure we send our Mita over as quickly as possible. At least we have quite a few harvestable plants around. There's pumpkins and onions, we've got garlic, some cabbages as well. So that should last us for a little while, but we'll definitely have to find a more sustainable source of food soon enough. And even though Alex is a terrible hunter, he has managed to scavenge a badger corpse from halfway across the map. So he's going to be able to butcher that, or someone will. Finally, some fresh meat. I'm sure the colonists will be happy about this one. 37 badger meat isn't a huge amount, but it's better than nothing, and it's the first time we've actually managed to gather any fresh meat. And as I was saying that, I noticed there was a turtle nearby that seems quite slow and far away from the bugs, so I think we'll try and hunt this one. Let's tell Alex to go do that immediately. Just hope he doesn't hit that big thing next to it, because that could end badly for him, though. And he did it. He finally did it. Alex managed to kill the turtle. That's going to be a second source of fresh meat. This is nothing but victories here for our colonists. And unfortunately, one of our colonists, Armida, as well as our prisoner Squint, have gotten sick, and they've contracted muscle parasites. I would imagine that comes from the food poisoning they had earlier, or perhaps just bad food that they ate. I've never seen this one, so I don't know how severe it's going to get or how important it is to treat it quickly, but nonetheless, we'll try and stay on top of that. Now, we do want to be careful with food, however, because we have no refrigeration system, and so the food that we do have doesn't keep for that long. Everything spoils within like 2 to 4 days, so we don't want to produce too much, because we'll just end up losing it. If we have a look at the tech tree here, we can see that all the blue technologies we already have. So we have basic cooking unlocked already. And if we look here, we have the smoker that we could learn for 600 research points, which would help us prolong the life of any of our meats. So I'm thinking maybe we should go for that. To do research, however, you do need a research bench. So let's craft one of those and maybe get someone onto researching. Now, we found a beehive to the south, and from what I've read, we could deconstruct it to obtain the queen bee, and with that we could build an apiary and try and get some honey. So I'm going to send somebody over there to deconstruct it and see what happens. And we do have a queen bee. There she is. So with that, we could build an apiary. We also got ourselves a little bit of honey, or honeycomb. So let's try and build an apiary and see how that works. And it looks like we need to feed the bees meat in order for them to produce honey. So these are carnivorous bees. So that might be a little bit more difficult, as meat is something we have quite a bit of trouble getting, but we'll try and figure something out. And if we have a look at Alex's health tab over here, we can see that the infection has been totally cured, so that is good news. And speaking of health and improving it, we have Squint here, the prisoner, who is now no longer incapable of walking, so she is mobile again. And not only that, but we are very close to recruiting her to the team. Her resistance is down to 0.6. I believe it was at 5 at the start. And the way that works is whenever you get a new prisoner, every character has a base resistance. So they don't want to join your cause. They don't want to be recruited. And as your warden speaks with them and has conversations, well, that'll end up lowering their resistance. And as time goes on, once resistance reaches 0, they will be recruited to your team. So I think in 1 or 2 conversations, probably Silver will be able to recruit Squint to our cause. And that's where we'll leave it for the first episode. Everyone's alive and nothing is on fire. For a Rimworld session, I'll take that as a win. If you want to stick around and watch the story unfold, feel free to like and subscribe. See you next time!